What's going on, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You guys know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, brought to you by My Song a Day Rock 2000 today. Happy Tuesday, April 14th. It is 414 day, but oh shoot, I just hit my mic with something. But what's 414 day? Well, I've got my Milwaukee Brewers t-shirt on and my Milwaukee Brewers hat. Now, because 414 is the Milwaukee area code, so of course 414 day we like celebrate everything Milwaukee. And of course, you know, mostly with like a Brewer game, and if the Bucks were still playing, well, if any sports team were still playing, we love to watch them and, you know, hang out, tailgate, drink, do everything like that. But of course, we are in the COVID-19 pandemic, and everyone's got to stay inside, quarantine, all that good shit. But you know what? We're still going to celebrate anyway, and we're going to have some fun. Now, before we get into the show, of course, I'm going to go through my list plugs. So, of course, if we had advertising up to this point, this is where we'd put it, so then you guys would know where the advertising is. But we don't. So, you know what? I'm just going to say this. Follow My Song a Day Rock 2000 a day on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, because holy shit, is that fan loud. Don't worry, you guys won't hear it in the post-production, though. But essentially, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, because that's where you're going to find all the fun My Song of the Day content you can really connect with us with. So Facebook, anytime anything gets released, the Song of the Day features, podcast episodes, YouTube videos, perfect way to stay in touch with that. Twitter, perfect way to stay in touch with that as well. Plus, it's, you know, Twitter is basically built to talk to us. So go talk to us on Twitter. Instagram, everything I said there also applies. But with Instagram, we ask you a couple more questions. It's our biggest platform, so we're much more engaging on there. Plus, we have a couple other things in the works as well with Instagram, like our IGTV series. So every single Tuesday night at, you know, like 7, 8 o'clock Central-ish in the evening, we put out a new IGTV episode, which is like a behind the scenes look at what we're doing here. And our Instagram live streams every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central time, because, well, that's what time zone I'm in. That's when I do them. So you can come chit chat with us for like an hour, hang out, talk music, or talk whatever the hell else we feel like talking about. Now, also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that's where you can watch these podcast episodes along with our YouTube videos, along with our album reviews and any other fun videos we come up with. The podcast here, like I said, it's on YouTube, but you can also listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. And please enable our Amazon Alexa skill, because when you do that, you get the whole entire Song of the Day feature on that specifically. However, that's the best way that, you know, you can really connect with all the music, because with the My Song of the Day feature, like the Song of the Day feature, you're going to get a new song every single day from a band you used to love, and you're going to fall in love with again, a new band you don't know about, and a band you might just want to talk about. So it's a great way to kind of connect with our fan base online and like talk about music and really get into a good discussion about the music that we're featuring as our Song of the Day selections. Also, every single Saturday, we do a small band Saturday feature where you can listen to these smaller bands that are going to be the bigger bands come, you know, the 2029, I'm hoping. So you can get early on the know with them. So again, links for everything in the description below or in the podcast episode notes. So go check that out. But now on time to our feature presentation. However, feature presentation is just yours truly. It's just me. I know I've done a lot of episodes lately where I've had guests on the show. In terms of, I've had our friend James last week. I had bands and band members from bands such as Hellgarden from Brazil, who was just, their drummer Mateus was just on here. We talked about their debut album, which I was able to review as like early, because they sent it to me like 2 weeks early. I'm like, oh, this is the first time ever. Yeah. So that was fun. We've also had bands such as Eline from Italy with Bruno. We had Lorenzo and David from Waves in Autumn, also a metalcore band from Italy. We had Stain the Canvas on here as well. We've had American bands such as Zume, Kill the Blonde, GFM has been on here, and I know they released a new single recently, which I still have to check out. So girls at GFM, I'm sorry. Amongst the Giants, another band that we've interviewed on here as well. Bone Steel as well. So, I mean, we've done a lot, and I haven't really done a solo episode in a while. Like, I think I did one, I called it the coronavirus special, because that was right when everything was starting to happen, especially here in the United States. But it's been about a month since that's happened, so it was actually a really good time to do a solo episode due to the fact that I can take a look back at, like, you know, what's been happening over the past month to really get a look and see what's going on. And when it comes to the music industry, I mean, naturally everything came to a crashing halt over this. And the reason for that is because music is, when it comes to really making your money in music, it's meant to be enjoyed, and it's meant to be enjoyed publicly. So, concerts and festivals are the biggest way to get that out there. And of course, because we can't go really like in groups of more than 10, well, especially here in the US, especially where I'm living right now. Again, like I said, in Milwaukee, I think as I'm shooting this right now, let me take a quick look to see what the number of confirmed cases we have here in the state of Wisconsin as of right now. Holy shit, these confirmed cases just keep going up and up and up. Yikes. We got lots. My phone's going off right now. What the hell? I don't want that because I'm doing a podcast episode. So, let's take a look at daily cases. It drops from the 10th to the 11th when I'm shooting, so that's good, I guess. But, cases are just keep skyrocketing up and up and up. So in the state of Wisconsin, nope, I don't want that. I don't want to take a look at more stuff. I just want to take a look at where I live. Come on, I just want to see where I live. Come on. Okay, this interactive map and me are not getting along well. Okay, here we go. There's a big dot right here. So where I live right now, we have a confirmed total of 1,653 cases as I am shooting this. In the state, though, I think it's up above 2,000, but I'm not entirely sure. Which still, that's not too bad at the moment. But, of course, that could easily change at any given moment because, we just don't want to end up like how New York City ended up or the East Coast. But we know they're going to end up kicking ass out there as well because, well, we're going to kick this thing's ass like I keep saying. But onto that because we can act like here, like in Wisconsin, it's a little bit more, we can't get in groups of 10 people or more. A lot of places are closed. They just closed down the state parks because of how many people are going to state parks. And it's a whole mess in itself. Don't get me wrong on that. We understandably, they're trying to do it just to try and stop this virus from going even further. But there have been a couple of the reasons politically I'm not going to really get into, but because we're focused on music. So of course I'm saying is with the limited amount of people that we can, be in a group with and the amount of closures, a lot of public things. Naturally the music industry has taken a gigantic hit where concerts are getting, either rescheduled or canceled. I'm taking a look at the ones that I've had right now. Let's see. Bad Omens has been postponed, but I don't know till when. Oh man, people just keep buzzing my phone. Jeez. Oh, I'm gonna be like Bill Burr. Oh Jesus. Okay, so on with that. Like I said, Bad Omens. I was supposed to see them in March. That got rescheduled. I was gonna surprise GFM and see them at the end of March. That got canceled. I was going to see We Came as Romans and Devil Wears Prada. That got rescheduled, and now I can't go and see that because something else I'm supposed to do that's a little bit more important to me, it got rescheduled for the same day, and I'm going to be in a different state. In this moment, Black Veil Brides, that got postponed with no rescheduled date. Volbeat, postponed, no rescheduled date. Hollywood Undead, Bad Wolves, Fire from the Gods, and From Ashes to New completely canceled. Got my refund on that one, but still pissed off because I'd rather go see the show. Ginger, rescheduled, no confirmed date. Sleepless Sirens, Amity Affliction, rescheduled, no confirmed date so far. So, and I've got a couple other ones later down the line as well that we're looking at. My next one to see if that's going to get postponed is As I Lay Dying. And then, because that's middle of June, and then at the end of June, let's see. No, it's July because I've got a couple of festivals in July. We'll see if they get rescheduled. August, I've got Skillet one night, St. Tony and Breaking Benjamin the next night, and then Deftones the following night. So that's one. I'm like, I just don't want that one to get rescheduled or canceled. I want to have this thing beat by then so that we can go and, all enjoy these shows. But again, understand why. But the point that I'm trying to make with that is where a lot of these musicians are making all their money, they can't do that anymore, or they can't really get out and, do everything with the fans they normally do because they can't go out. They can't go and do this stuff. And like in a bunch of other places where they have the shelter in place thing where it's like everything that's non-essential is completely closed. You can't go to the recording studio and record. You can't really go out there and just do a lot of stuff. So it does really kind of stink. I'm not going to lie. So what I've been looking at is what are these bands doing and what are these artists doing in order to stay relevant during the time of the coronavirus, during the time of the COVID-19 pandemic and here in, 2020, because 2020 is completely different than any other year we've ever experienced. And when I first saw this, my first thought was, okay, bands, I've seen some bands. I remember seeing Ascending from Ashes, a band that I think the second or first band, the first band I ever interviewed. So they were always doing these Instagram live streams, YouTube live streams, Facebook live streams. So it always live stream shows every single Wednesday night, like it's 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 Central. So I got to actually see them before my live streams. However, this was before the whole entire pandemic happened. And then they stopped right at the end of 2019 so that they could start working on new material. Again, totally understandable. No one knew what was going to happen with this at the beginning of 2020. Now we're going forward and we're going into this whole entire thing where my first thought was when everything was starting to get shut down was these bands are going to end up doing live stream concerts if they can get together. If not, they're going to have to do them singly or do something kind of crazy to kind of put it together. You bring everyone in at once. So the first one that did that was Dropkick Murphys, because this all kind of started happening where you couldn't go out like to a bar or anything, or like kind of like go to a show or something like that. It kind of happened right around St. Patrick's Day. And of course, Dropkick Murphys, Irish hard rock, Irish punk band. I mean, they're going to naturally play a huge show on St. Patrick's Day. So they live streamed their whole 2-hour show in the recording studio on St. Patrick's Day. Now, do not get me wrong. That was the move to make for them, and it worked out tremendously. And I was saying, a lot of bands, like, that's going to be the first thing that you have to do is they have to do a lot of live streams and do a lot of, like, performances where people can come and watch them perform online. And all of a sudden, as time went on a little bit more, about a week and a half, all of a sudden, more shelter in place were happening around the country, especially in the hub areas where a lot of these artists are stationed. Take a look at New York, take a look at Los Angeles and the California area. A lot of those artists, or, then the stay-at-home order, but a lot of these artists as well, they don't all live in the same spot. And I'll use Disturbed as the example. I believe David Draymond is either out in Hawaii or California. John Moyer is somewhere out in Texas. Dan Donegan is in Illinois, and Mike Wengren is here in Wisconsin. So they're put all over the country, so you can't really get together and do a lot of things. You can't record, you can't do something like that. So it's interesting to see how this was going to all play out. And as time has gone on, I've been seeing more and more live streams from the individuals themselves are bringing people in. I'm going to bring up Rise Against as an example because I recently saw one where Zach Blair and Tim McElrath did acoustic performance of Prayer of the Refugee, which was cool. I would have loved to have seen if they could have gotten Joe Principe and Brandon Barnes in there as well, just to kind of add the whole entire band in there to really bring up, but they're doing something. And a lot of other bands are doing this. A lot of other artists are doing this as well. They just had a whole entire thing with not only that, I know Tim McElrath was there. They had Tyler from Theory of a Dead Man in this one. I'm trying to think who else they had from the rock community, but it was one that was on April 11th. And it was just like every artist had like a 15-minute section. I caught the end of Tim's. He sang Morning in America, which I thought was a very intelligent move. Of course, Rise Against, they're always going to make an intelligent move. Don't get me wrong on that. So going forward, then I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's happening. And it's good, but there's an issue I see with it. And the issue I see with it is it's not an issue of they're doing the wrong thing. It's that the issue is they're not taking the opportunity to do more. And the reason, and if you don't want to do more, that's fine. Because this is all about, making sure your band or making sure you as an artist have the ability to, keep growing throughout this pandemic. And so by the time this is over, you're in a better position than you were than when, this whole entire thing started. So it's all about connecting with fans, all about doing something new, so you constantly give the fans new and cool things to look at. And so it's like, okay, there's a live stream. That's great. But how are you going to make it better? What else are you going to do? And I think the band that is doing this the best at the moment when I'm shooting this episode, we're recording this, is From Ashes to New. And the reason From Ashes to New, I think, is the best, doing this the best right now, is because they're constantly doing these live streams with the whole entire band, or they're putting the whole entire band together and creating a video of it. And they're doing covers. Now, again, I'm not the biggest fan of covers overall, especially taking a look to see, okay, we had a cover from, my computer says, oh, you're using too much, energy or too much memory because of that COVID-19 interactive map. So I had to get out of that. But for Mash to New, they're doing a lot of covers, and I'm not the biggest fan of covers all the time. However, there are covers that I absolutely love. I mean, take a look at Johnny Cash's cover of Hurt. The Sound of Silence from Disturbed covering Simon and Garfunkel. I mean, those are the like two like top tier echelon covers you're ever going to get. But then you get some bad covers in there. And I think a bad cover from recently is the We Will Rock You cover from In This Moment. I know it's gaining a lot of popularity, but no, not for me. And I'm just bringing it up as the example. But from what Ashes to New is doing, what I saw them do is all of a sudden they were doing a cover of Linkin Park's Faint. And I'm like, okay, you're kind of keeping in that same realm that you're working in. And I really do like the idea of it, especially because you're bringing the whole band in and you're giving more substance and you're trying something new. You're trying something instead of just playing, oh, I'm just going to go out and play this kind of stuff and do that and do whatever. But I think the biggest one before, as I shoot this, because the last video they made with this was their their cover of Gravity by Papa Roach featuring Maria Brink of In This Moment. So they covered it. And I thought, okay, this is going to be interesting because you got the whole band there. They had someone doing the Jacoby Shaddix rapping vocal. I don't remember what the guys from Mashes who knew their names are, unfortunately. So they had someone do they basically split up the vocals for Jacoby Shaddix for his chorus style vocals and his rapping style vocals. But then what completely got me on this one was that they found a female vocalist to come in and record and like basically like sing Maria Brink's part for it. And they're not just getting any female vocalist off the street either. They contacted Jen Ledger of Skillet and had her come and do it. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So what I love what Ashes to New is doing is they're creating more of an immersive experience for the fans during this because they're constantly coming out with something new. I think it's like every single week they want to do this. You're constantly coming out with something new every single week. And especially after you did the Gravity one, no one knows who you're going to be bringing in to do these things with you. All of a sudden, From Ashes to New could absolutely blow up over this due to the fact that they could come out with something. Let's do, I'm trying to think of a cover that they could potentially do. Say they were going to do a cover of something by Motionless in White. If they did like a cover of, I don't know what song they might go with, but maybe they did a cover of, like Code by Motionless in White, which actually be kind of cool in my opinion. But then all of a sudden they bring in someone else to feature on it. And the feature might be like Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills. I mean, and then all of a sudden you're hearing the different vocalists as well. And then all of a sudden you could see them doing something different where they're doing another one with another featured female vocalist. And all of a sudden they get someone like Lizzie Hale to do a cover with them. I mean, and they're doing this all online too. They're doing this all, everyone's recording it on their own home stuff and they're all sending it to probably someone from Ashes to New does all this stuff with, puts it all together, and then they come out with this great video every single Tuesday that, people are going to want to go and see this because you're always going to be curious who they're going to be featuring with. I think it's a great move and I absolutely love what they're doing with it. So that's one band that I really like what they're doing with it. Another one that I like what they're doing with this kind of stuff, and it's not necessarily, this is more of like a pop culture thing for this person or artist. It's less about the music at this point, but, they're doing more with pop culture on this one. And that's got to be Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars. A couple of things I've seen him do is taking those like Netflix watch parties and like, movie, like get-togethers and like, okay, we're all going to be watching Netflix at this time. We're going to be watching, I think they've watched The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They watched part of Tiger King. And I looked at it and he's constantly like doing stuff with that as well. And I'm like, that is a fantastic move given the fact that you're not only doing something that is, more culturally relevant, where like taking Tiger King, for example, you're watching the most popular thing on Netflix right now, or say you're watching like The Breakfast Club or Back to the Future or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You're watching these classic movies that a lot of people absolutely love, and they're going to want to watch them with you because they're going to be curious to see who the artist, like especially from Jared Leto, what he has to say about these movies, what kind of crazy things he's going to do. Like when he dressed up as Joe Exotic and had like a stuffed tiger, I thought that was freaking hilarious. But what I absolutely like about that is they're taking that time. He's taking this time and really making sure that he's connecting with the fans and that he's staying relevant, basically, because there's a lot of bands out there that I haven't seen a lot from. And it's like, well, why wouldn't you do this? One band that's doing it completely in a different light and bring a lot of attention, but it's more, potentially positive, negative attention. I'm not going to go deep into it, but it is Trapped because you can all see it on Twitter. I haven't really followed it very much. I just kind of had a brief idea of what's going on. I know it's all politically charged, but I mean, but talking about it, it's, at this time, it's like it's good attention, it's bad attention, but it is attention on Trapped nonetheless. So there's got to be something there where, whoever the lead singer of Trapped is, kind of probably had something in his mind where he just kind of went out and just did something. But the band is growing in the minds of people. Whether it's for the good or for the bad, whatever your political leans might be, whatever your thoughts might be, the thing is they have the attention right now, so they are doing just that. I'm trying to think of a couple other bands that are doing stuff that I'm like, they're doing more than just that live stream. Skillet, I'm going to throw them there as well, because what I've seen from John and Corey Cooper is I've seen them do a lot more unplugged versions of their songs together, which I got to admit, you're doing kind of like that same live stream thing over and over again, but you're doing it. But you're doing that as well, so I do like it. But of course, you get the Cooper Stuff podcast in there as well, and they're doing a lot more updates about what everyone in the band is doing, so you get a whole better feel for what's going on. You can see what John and Corey had been doing, which was just being able to just spend time with their kids and do the whole entire family thing, because when they're on the road, it's like, okay, you're constantly you're doing stuff, they're used to that life. Then you come home for like 3 weeks before you go back out and do something again. So you really don't have that time to just sit down, relax, really get, that homebody kind of feel. But they're just doing the whole entire family thing. And and they're showing it too. So I gotta say, that's awesome. You take a look at like what Jen Ledger was doing. And I mentioned what she did with the cover from Ashes to New. I think that's a great idea. And then just kind of all the fun stuff that she's doing for herself. Totally makes sense. Seth Morris on the other end, he was like practicing his golf game, playing MLB 20 The Show, just having a great time with it. And it's like, you're being able to see this though and be able to connect with them, because especially I'm going to use Seth Morrison as the example. He is literally doing what everybody else is doing. Plus, I've seen Seth Morrison do learn to plays on his Instagram page. So he'll do IGTV episodes for 10 minutes and he'll show you how to play certain songs. Like they've done Not Gonna Die. I can't remember the other one that they did though, but I think he's doing like once every week or 2 weeks, which again, not gonna lie, great move by him. I'm trying to think if there's any others. So I think those are the ones I was really going to put out there. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of bands out there that are not taking this opportunity wholly. And I mean wholly, in a whole sense. Reason being is because everyone's attention right now is online. And the reason for that is because we're all kind of stuck in our houses. We can't really go anywhere. We can't go out and do a lot of things. If people want to connect with their families, most of them are doing it over Skype or Zoom. I have friends that one of the previous nights, they all got together and we're doing this whole entire Zoom trivia thing, which I thought was pretty cool. Of course, guess who wasn't in on it? Me. Guess who was doing something else that day? Me. So it was okay. I'm like, oh, cool. And they said they invite me the next time. So woohoo. But people's attention is online, watching Netflix, watching Hulu, watching Amazon Prime TV, whatever it might be. And then when it comes to being online, they're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they're watching movies, listening to music, they're doing all this stuff. And my God, my phone just keeps bouncing off the freaking wall. Yikes. Snapchat a la mode. Jesus Christ. Yikes. Okay, but back to the point. There are so many people that are online, and that's where the attention is. And I'm kind of going all Gary V on this shit, because every single morning during the week, Gary V does Tea Time with Gary, where he literally does a live stream for 2.5 hours, just brings random people on and answers their questions like Daily V. And yeah, you're kind of going back to the Daily V thing that you were doing, but that's where the attention is. Everyone is going to be on those platforms, especially if you're unfortunately, if you're unemployed at the moment, or you got laid off, or if you're like me with my full-time job and you're working from home, and it's when you're working from home, it's you're gonna have a second computer open. I always have I have my work computer up attached to another monitor so I can do my work. But if there's any downtime, I've got a table next to me, I've got my laptop next to me, and I'm all set and ready to fucking roll with some other shit. So on Friday, I did a what was it? On Friday the 10th, I was working, but every time I was running something on a Microsoft Excel, I had to run a macro. It was going to take about 10, 15 minutes. I was working on a piece for the video I was going to shoot that night. And I'm going to spoil it for you right now. It's my top 10 Skillet songs of all time, in my opinion. And that one was a tough video for me to make. You guys will see why. But that's what I was doing. It was okay, but my attention is on my computer. My attention is on a screen. My attention is on the internet. And a lot of these bands, you got to understand that your fan base's attention is on the internet. That's where it is. That's where everyone is right now. And more so than ever, because no one can go outside. You can't go to concerts. You can't really go out and hang out with your friends. You can't go to parties. You really can't go on vacation. You're pretty much stuck where you are. And you don't want to go out to the freaking grocery store because everyone is going out there. Literally, there's lines. Wait, the people are in lines right now trying just to get into grocery stores. So what I'm saying is, again, the attention is on people's phones, on their computers, online, on your social media profiles. So as a band, it's kind of like you're taking a look at it. What are you doing to set yourself apart from everybody else in order to do that? Myself, I was trying to do that. If you take a look at the previous week, I had a podcast up. I had a YouTube video out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then a podcast episode on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I mean, I'm just making more content as we go along. This week, though, I got the podcast episode Tuesday, and I got the standard YouTube video on Wednesday, but that's it, which for me, I couldn't stand it because it's like I was trying to get a lot of different artists and bands and people just to be on the podcast this week. It just didn't work out. Might be with the fact that it's Easter weekend and everyone just wants to, take the time, either if you're with your family, spend it with your family. And if you're not with your family, spend it with your family over Skype or Zoom, whatever it might be, or FaceTime. But when you really take a look at it, it's, again, as a band, what are you doing to really set yourself apart from everybody else? Are you doing something that's like, not doing anything? Like there's a good amount of bands that aren't doing anything right now. Are you going to be bands such as, Dropkick Murphys, or like what Rise Against is doing, where you're doing something, you're doing that live stream stuff, you're doing a lot of stuff, so you are doing something, you are getting people engaged with your music, but you're not going deep dive into it, you're not doubling down on it? Or could you be like someone like From Ashes to New, which I think they're doubling down on, or Jared Leto as well from 30 Seconds to Mars, they're doubling down on it, and what I see is that more positive attention light. Or you could be going the way that Trapped is going and doing it more of a any attention light, because they're getting both positive and negative reception from what they're doing. So, but the thing is by the time this is all over, they're the ones that are going to be relevant. It's not going to be the ones that are just sitting around doing nothing. And it's the perfect time, especially where the attention is, because once this all gets back going, everyone's going to want to get back outside. Everyone's going to want to go to concerts. Everyone's going to want to go to shows. Everyone's going to want to go back out to the bars and hang out with their friends. Everyone's going to want to go on vacation. So there's going to be so many things that people want to do. What are you going to be doing now to make sure that when people can go out and do whatever they want to do, you're still fresh in their minds? I think right now, on April 14th, 2020, throughout the first month of the coronavirus pandemic, when everything gets locked down here in the United States, I think the band that is currently winning, it's going to sound weird, but the band that's winning this pandemic is From Ashes to New. They're the absolute winners in this because they're getting a lot of attention for their covers, but it's attention in a positive light. Second winner, I have to say, is Trapped, because even though they're getting both positive and negative attention, where the negative attention is where, the mass amount of negative attention is what's dropping them from like the top spot in this right now down to 2, is because of how much that is. But the fact that is, they're getting so much attention on Twitter, on Instagram. They're getting so much attention in places like Loudwire, Alt Press, and where else are they getting a lot of attention? Like Pitchfork News. Like they're getting Kerrang! They're getting so much attention there that people in the music industry and rock and metal are knowing about what's going Trapped. They're hearing that name for the first time since Headstrong came out in 2002. I mean, come on, that is exactly what you want to see. I want to say the third winner right now, I'm gonna go with Skillet on this one, because they're connecting with their core group of fans, especially given the fact that I'm shooting this on Easter Sunday. They are really connecting with their fans, especially the ones that really like Skillet based off of their Christian music. So they're really connecting with those fans, and I have to say they're winners for it. And the winner number 4 right now is Ronnie Radke. Just due to the fact that I've been seeing a lot of the stuff that he's been doing constantly on Twitter. Just if people are going to go at him, he's going to go after them. If people are going to praise him, he's going to be like, okay, whatever. He's going to have some fun with it. I've seen some funny videos. He's done a lot of the gaming, like the streams that he's done on Twitch. A perfect way to go about it, because that's what people are watching. That's what people are doing. It makes a lot of sense. Winner number 5, because I'm only going to go 5 winners. I'm going to go with the band Red as winner number 5. Reason being is because they took their album declaration that was supposed to come out on April 10th and moved up to April 3rd. Now, the reason they did that was because people who like their music were going to be able to listen to their music early and before all this crap happened, or during all this crap, I should say, so that they had something that's like, okay, you know, you're looking for it, and it made news because all of a sudden, oh my God, they're releasing their album a week early. I wish they would release it on the 10th due to the fact that they were going to be like the band to release it on the 10th, but what are you going to do? And so I think they're the winners. Loser, did I say Jared Leto is a winner right now? Yeah, I think he was winner number. I think he was part. No, I put him like part. I put him like one A. No, okay. So drop it. Winner number 1 is for Mash This Anew. I'm gonna go 2 Trapped. 3 I'll go Jared Leto. 4 I'll go Skillet. 5th I'll go Ronnie Radke. 6 I'll go Red. So I'll put 6 in there because Jared Leto deserves to go in there due to the fact of how much he is going into pop culture right now and really making sure that his like himself, not only that, but then reverberating to 30 Seconds to Mars are still going to be very culturally relevant once this is all over. Losers of this right now, like not taking anything. I'm gonna say this like right now is like this is just gonna be a blanket one. Any band that's not connecting with their fans and really not doing anything on social media. You can be connecting with your fans any other way, but the thing that I look at it is with everyone's attention on social media right now, just because that's where we can all connect still. And if you've got a lot of time as a band because you're not touring, I mean, you might be making new music, but you've got a lot more time. If you're not connecting on there, like I'll even use Dave Grohl as an example. Dave Grohl is connecting with stories from Dave, and he releases a new crazy story every single Monday. That is freaking perfect. I absolutely love that. So I think he's winner up there. He'll be winner number. We'll move him just above Red. So Red goes down to 7. Red's still a winner though, but we'll put Dave Grohl at 6 because those stories, they come out once, they come out just once a week and they're all written out, but still they're fun to read. So I got to put it out there that he's getting the positive attention. But bands that aren't doing anything like that, or they're not doing any live stream performances of anything, whether it's just one person from the band, the whole band, whatever it might be, they're not connecting with their fans, or they're just trying to just do some other stuff too, that really doesn't connect with people on social media. I think they're losing this right now because, again, it's just all where the attention is and they're just not attacking it. Loser number 2, shoot, I think I had some for this. Oh, I got it. I know who loser number 2 is. I might only have a second loser on this one. And loser number 2 is the band Bury Tomorrow. Now, you got to step back on this one. And the reason why I'm putting them in the loser category is because of a decision they made, but you have to listen to me fully and why I think this. So they were supposed to release their album Cannibal, their new album, on April 3rd, alongside August Burns Red's Guardians. Now, they bumped it back 3 months to July 3rd. The reason they bumped it back was because I believe they're going to be on tour they're supposed to be on tour at that time. So they wanted to release the new album while they were going to be starting starting up their next tour or something after the pandemic, just so that, you know, when the album came out, that all of a sudden it was going to be fresh in people's minds and people were going to want to go and see them live because of it. Now, I do totally understand the move because people are going to want to go and see these live shows once this is all over. And if you're going to come out with a new album right away, yeah, people are going to want to go see your live show. However, when this is over, people are now just going to want to, it's like, if you come out with the album, yeah, you might be in the minds of people, but all of a sudden, people might be wanting to save their money to go do other things because everyone's been cooped up inside. They're going to want to go on vacation. They're going to want to go to hang out with their friends. They're going to go to parties. They're going to want to go to barbecues. They're going to want to just travel. They want to do whatever else there might be, especially if it's around the summertime, especially as you release on the 3rd of July. And because then once July comes around, if this is all over, you know, there's a lot of festivals happening in July that Bury Tomorrow might not be a part of. And it's just going to be it's going to end up getting lost in the shuffle. That's the danger of it. The other danger that I saw of it and why I'm considering this a loser, like, you know, putting him in the loser category right now of the move is due to the fact that, again, people are craving new music. They really, really, really want new music. They want to hear it, and they want something new, especially because they're sitting around doing the same thing every single day. All you're eating, you're watching Netflix, you're online, you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, you're making TikToks. I mean, I don't fucking know what you're doing, but the fact of the matter is you're online, and if you want something new, all of a sudden new music is going to be the way to go about it because there's so many bands coming out with new music still, especially ones that were planned to come out with new music. I mean, A Day to Remember is supposed to come out with a single tomorrow. There's just so much going on that it just makes it tough. That's like, there's so much that you could do, but it makes it tough because, man, you have an opportunity to get in the minds of people, especially when they're at home, they're begging for something new. Your new stuff comes out. Holy shit, you've got a lot right there. But no, you back it up and you wait until this is over. And it's kind of like people are going to might forget about you. So that's the risk you're taking. And I think it's a bad risk to take because I don't really see the positives coming out of it, especially with the fact that this might not be over by July. Who knows when this is going to be over? I'm for me personally, just taking a look at it right now, I'm being super optimistic and hoping that by the end of May, we all get this all kind of figured out, taken care of to the point where it's, we can all go outside, have fun. And, the virus might not be fully eradicated at that point, but the healthcare system is going to be perfectly capable of taking care of people that get a severe case of it, along with the fact that people have an immunity built up to it, or there's a type of treatment, medicine, or vaccine that's ready to go. I don't think there's going to be a vaccine ready to go because of how long it normally takes, but maybe there's like some miracle thing that it's like, oh yeah, if you take this, it neutralizes the symptoms. I mean, now that would just be fantastic. We can all get back to life as we know it, or knew it. We're never going to get back to life as we knew it, but some kind of form of life as we knew it where, we had the freedom just to do whatever the fuck we wanted. Just, travel, go to ball games, go to concerts, mosh our motherfucking asses off, everything of the sort. So it's tough. It's tough. Shoot, what did I want to do with this one? Because again, when it comes to the solo one, that was pretty much everything I wanted to go over. Was I wanted to really focus on what was going on with bands and what they were doing, because I'm trying to do the most I can to not only make sure that I'm still kicking ass in my full-time job, because someone still needs to make money so I can, do stuff with this shit. Plus I'm moving at the beginning of May. So there's that to go with it. So I got to make sure I'm on top of my game there. I just want to get outside and exercise on a run, but I haven't been able to run a lot lately because my hip freaking hurts. I've been on the bike a lot and just do a lot of that, and then try and focus on this as well as much as I possibly can. But I want to focus on this more, so even I'm dropping the ball. So kind of yelling at myself there, but that's kind of what I wanted to talk about for most of the day. But I do want to do one thing, and I kind of wanted to do this. So let me pull up what I wanted to do, especially given the fact that we have so many things going on in life. There are so many people out there that might be scared, might be nervous what's going on. So I want to just take this time to call out one of our someone who were they a follower? I hope they were. Make sure, yes. So I'm going to end up tagging this person in the episode notes, especially on Instagram. So I was on Friday the 10th. I posted something on Instagram that said, my caption was, just checking in to see what everyone is doing in isolation/quarantine. We would be seeing Devil Wears Prada and August Burns Red tonight in Milwaukee, but alas, that is not happening. And my picture basically said, what are you doing to stay busy during this isolation time? Now, we had someone, Instagram name Big Zim, BIGG_ZIM_, said, working, apparently I'm essential. And we had someone that always comments on my stuff, said, I feel that. And I asked him, what did you do that makes you an essential worker? And Big Zim says, I work for a company that repairs highways, bridges, sewers, storm drains, and water lines. Now, the reason I want to call out Big Zim specifically in this is as a thank you. And one thing that we've been seeing a lot of is we've been seeing a lot of people thanking the healthcare workers and the first responders and those people and people that are working at grocery stores and Targets. And do not get me wrong, rightfully so, they deserve our thanks because they're putting themselves at risk to make sure that, healthcare workers and first responders, they're putting themselves at risk to make sure that we stay safe and we stay healthy and that we beat this. The people that are working at places like Target, Walmart, the grocery stores, they're working to make sure that we still get our food and that we are able to eat and we're able to still, live and basically have a society where we're not going to be just like ravenous people trying to kill other people for food. Basically trying to make sure that it's not going to be like Black Friday at the grocery store. And they deserve our thanks as well. But on this one specifically, I want to give a big shout out to Big Zim because he's working to make sure that our infrastructure is repaired and working perfectly. So Big Zim, I want to give you a shout on this one. Thank you for being a follower, and thank you for doing everything that you're doing to make sure that even as an essential worker, that you're making sure that everybody is still safe when it comes to, storm drains, sewer lines, bridges, everything with repairs. So thank you. Thank you. That's going to be one thing I'm going to be doing on the podcast until probably this is all over, or maybe even forward. I'm going to put this out there as well. I'm going to say, if you are a first responder, healthcare worker, if you work in a grocery store, if you're an essential worker, tell me your story and we'll tell people a story on here on the podcast. And well, of course, we'll give you a big thanks. Now, I wish I had some merch to send out to these people right now, but alas, we were working on that. I was working on that right before this happened because the place that I would go and get my merch taken care of, they're closed because of the whole entire thing. And the reason why I'm going to them is because a couple of reasons. One, I know they do great work because, well, I've seen it firsthand. I've been a part of the process firsthand back when I was 16 years old. Secondly is I know I'd get a good price from them because the third reason, the business is run by 4 of my cousins. And I have a shirt and a backpack or sweatshirt and a backpack right now with the logo on it. And I mean, they did good. So that might be something going forward that I might do is like, once we get merch, I might make like a first response, like a kick at like team kick COVID-19's ass shirt. And then send it to everybody for free that I put thanks on the podcast because to show my appreciation and show that everyone that they should be appreciated for what they're doing. So yeah, let's go do that. Is that going to cost me some money? Yeah. Is it worth it? Fuck yeah. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Chord Progression Podcast brought to you by My Song a Day, Rock 2000 a Day. Next week, shoot, I don't have an interview lined up yet as I'm shooting this, but you know what? We got plenty of time. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching or listening to the Chord Progression Podcast brought to you by My Song a Day, Rock 2000. Today, you guys know how I end this. My name is Kevin, and like I'm going to say this, you guys know how I end every single one of these episodes with a big, healthy, and hearty, but wait. I'm going to do something special for you guys at the end of this because it's being released on 414 Day for me and for Milwaukee. So everybody enjoy the little special ending. And I'm going to end it with see ya. Milwaukee. The word around town is we're lighting it up. So who's going to win it? The purple and green is exciting and tough. So who's gonna win it? The Bucks! Straight from the Central Division, the team that's swishing, running and dishing. The Bucks on a mission. Cassell and Ray hold it down in the back, while Big Dog and Tim round out the attack. It's the Bucks, talented and tough. What's up? The team from Milwaukee's about to erupt. We got the alley-oop, look away, hyping it up. The Bucks 2000, lighting it up. Ray Allen, light it up, light